According to at least one chronometer, it is now 12 o'clock, so we'll call the meeting to order. We have a couple of items that are not on the printed agenda. We wanted to start out by mentioning, as some of you probably heard, the death of Ken DeWeer, who represented Laketown Township for many years. I'm sorry, Fillmore Township. Well, he also represented you guys in Fillmore.
He was our good neighbor.
Yeah. We're passing around a copy of his obituary in case you didn't see it in the paper. I think Judy did email that out, but in case you haven't seen it in your email, it does reference the fact that the family has had a funeral already, and there is visitation this afternoon and this evening if you're inclined to want to visit. It's listed on the paper we're passing around as well as on the screen. And you know, I think most of you who've been here for any time know and appreciate Ken's personality, very level-headed, calm, very peaceful person to be on the board with. And I certainly appreciated his contributions over the years. I would also say we have a card here that we'll pass around. If you'd like to sign it, we'll forward that on to his family. And what we'd like to do is take a moment to remember him with a moment of silence. And if you are inclined to offer a prayer for his family as they are grieving, that would certainly be something to think about.
Lord, we just thank you for Ken's life and the afterlife that he's enjoying at this point. Please be with his family and those that he left behind. Thank you for all that he's done in his life, and that might be to your glory, Lord.
Amen. We had contemplated doing something today, so we have an opportunity to also honor another former board member. You remember Dave Van Ginhoven, who served us for many years here on the MACC board as an at-large member. And some of you who knew David knew that he was involved in the Parks Commission for many, many years. And I didn't realize to what extent, but his daughter initiated having this plaque placed in one of the Ottawa parks to commemorate his efforts there. And I lost my printed copy of it, but if you can see what the plaque says here, it's on the paved Forest Trail loop that's named in his honor in recognition of his outstanding service and contributions to the Ottawa County Parks. He served on the Ottawa County Parks and Recreation Committee for 11 years, including 3 as president, as well as on the inaugural Ottawa County Parks Foundation Board of Directors. I was not aware of that, and you know, David was a humble man and didn't necessarily talk about all of his accomplishments. He served us well on the board here by filling in several of our numerous vacancies of our executive directorship, which we don't experience anymore. But David selflessly gave of his time to keep the organization running during those vacancies, and we are certainly appreciative of that. So it's with fond memories that we have this plaque to review here. So with that, we will start with our roll call. And Amanda, could we start with you over here?
Mandy Cooper, Lakeshore Advantage.
Tom Hunt, Zealand Township.
Terry Nienhuis, Holland Township.
Larry Brown, Allegheny County Road Commission.
Sally Gruffin, City of Zealand.
Pankaj Rajagaj, at large.
Nathan Bach, City of Holland.
Jason Latham with the MACC.
Tom Bird, at large.
Al Nienhuis, Olive Township.
Heather Bowden, MDOT statewide planning.
Tyler Ken, MDOT Grand Region.
Linda Howell, Laketown Township.
Kirk Van Kooveren, Ottawa County Road Commission.
Jim Story, Allegheny County Board of Commissioners.
Judy Hischer, the MACC.
Alec Miller, the MACC.
Eric Dykstra at the MACC.
Paul Overseer, the MACC. Troy Gray, MDOT Grand Region.
Okay, and we would entertain a motion for approval of the minutes that have been distributed.
So moved.
I'll support it.
Any additions or corrections? If If not, all those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. And any public comments? Nobody here from the public, so we will turn the meeting over to Jason.
All right, well, thank you very much, Tom. All right, we're gonna start on the transportation side of things. Alec is gonna talk about a tip amendment. There was a memo attached.
But before I do that, as you know, it's my long-standing tradition and joke at this point that I give you guys my various life updates. The last time I was here, it was actually right before I proposed to my fiance. That's happening September 20th, still happening. But
She said yes.
she did say yes, all good. But the biggest thing is, my number one gripe that I've been complaining about, I got a house.
What county is it in?
And my jurisdiction is this guy right here, City of Holland. It actually worked out perfect because Jason was a huge help in this because he worked in his West Coast leadership class. He worked with Jubilee Ministries, and so I was able to buy a condo from them on the corner of 14th and Maple. So I'm right over there, so I can be here anytime you need me.
Love it. Great, great to have you. Welcome.
Thank you. So me and my fiance were super excited to get started and put some roots down here in Holland.
Yeah.
I'm officially transitioning to a troll rather than being a Uber, so. Okay, on to the actual stuff. So we have one tip amendment, job number 215242. Brian White for City of Holland, he reached out to let me know that this cost was based on an engineer's estimate that has been updated. This decreased non-participating cost and an increased local participating costs. An amendment was triggered because the budget moved by more than 25%. Brian explained to me that a portion of this project will receive snow melt, which will all be non-participating. There also may be even more snow melt added in the future, so they wanted to have some flexibility with this. If there are no comments or questions on this, if anybody has anything more to add to it, it's a straightforward one. Ask for a motion.
I make a motion to approve the fiscal year 2023 to 2026 tip amendment as presented.
Support.
All right, it's moved and supported. Any other comments or questions?
Judy, Sally.
Yeah. All right, all in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, the next big thing that we have is our fiscal year 2025 UWP. So I've been working on this for quite some time. I feel like I'm getting good at it though, because this is my third one, so it wasn't that difficult. It's just a little bit of a time-consuming document. In early March, MACC staff, we met with state and federal partners for our annual pre-UWP meeting to discuss planning programs, emphasis areas for the next fiscal year. Basically, the purpose of the UWP is to identify transportation issues facing urbanized areas and then indicates what work items the MACC will be doing to address those issues. So essentially, the UWP is just a document that lays out everything that we're going to be doing throughout the year. It's organized into 5 categories, which are admin, short-range planning, special projects, and long-range planning, and also a 2.5 set-aside. That's another one I forgot to add on there. So last month, TAC reviewed this document. I asked if anybody had any additions, deletions, comments, questions. Nobody gave me anything. I've been working with Luke Walters from MDOT throughout this. He hasn't given me any bad things about it. So this is it. This is the final draft moving forward, and then I'll be done until next March when I start this again. So if there are any issues with it, then ask for a motion for that, please.
I'll make that motion.
All right, Tom Monk with the motion. Is there a second?
Support.
All right, we have support. Any comments? I'm going to jump in real quick and just say we have been talking about this quite a bit at technical, and we brought it up here at policy. And I know Alec just said we didn't really, get anything new, but there's been ongoing discussion, and I think that relationship that we have with MDOT, with Federal Highway, and then obviously with our members, that we really have, I would say the staff has done a great job of making sure that all that information's in here and that that's going to be covered under our work program.
In case you want. I'll pass.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
And then opposed, same sign. All right, motion carries. Thank you.
And Tom, you have a resolution to sign, so don't leave without signing that resolution.
I don't know if I'm gonna sign that.
Please, please. And then next up, Eric is going to talk about AECOM.
Thank you. Good to see everyone. I feel like summer's in full swing, so that's good. I don't have any funny stories or anything. Just a boring dad at this point. Okay, so under our Safe Streets for All Safety Action Plan, we are selecting AECOM as the contractor. We received 5 proposals, so that was pretty good. Grand Valley only received 3 when they did theirs, so. We received it from WSP, Progressive AE, Tool Design, Fishbeck, and then AECOM. So on May, I believe it was May 7th, we met. So it was myself and then some other people from the MACC, as well as Craig Atwood, Brett Laughlin, Brian White, and Kevin Plockmeyer from Zealand. So they were the steering committee for this since they own the roads. And they selected AECOM for the following reasons. So they had the most experience both cumulatively and per capita on their team. They have established local relationships in place. They have completed some Safe Streets for All work already. And they have the ability, they identified the good ability to reach out to Spanish speakers, so we have a lot in the Holland area, as well as some underserved populations. And they made very clear mention several times about stakeholders and deliverables. And then we thought they had the best resources and technical expertise to take this on. So with that, are there any questions about AECOM? And again, they're going to start today. So once you guys approve everything, if you do, they can start today, and then we're hoping to have this done by June of next year. So
is the crew just standing outside building?
Yeah.
got them on speed dial right now. So pretty much all 5 could bake the cake. That's the term we use, but who puts on the best icing? And AECOM won that contest. So
Yeah, it was a razor thin margin.
they were all good proposals.
And I have to commend Eric. He put together a nice spreadsheet. We went through everything, and the team was great. There was a really good back and forth, and you could tell we were all scored very similar, but really we had to drill in there a little bit. And we had 2 of those firms. We did let them know that they weren't the #1 ranked, that they wouldn't be going to the board for approval. And they asked for debriefs, and which was really good. And I'm glad that we got to do that, because that's something that, when you do this kind of work, you have to stand behind the decisions you make, and you have to have sound reasoning. So I'm glad that me and the team got to do that. We were asked to do that, and both those firms really appreciated our feedback, so that was good too.
And if you know, Pam Blazo is going to be the lead on this, so both Craig and Brett have both worked with her extensively.
Yeah, past MDOT employee that's done
Yeah.
a lot of work with local agencies and federal highways, so that was, they were really happy about that.
Yeah.
Somebody that really understands what needs to happen and has a good, and actually lives in the area, so that was really nice. Really nice too.
So if no other questions, I'm just looking for a motion to approve their contract, and then we can let them know today.
And the one thing I do want to add to this motion that's not on there is that if we could also approve that I could sign that contract, because I think that would just be nice to put that in there, that we would like AECOM as the Safe Streets for All consultant, and that I have the authority to sign that contract. And the one caveat I'll put in after legal review. That's definitely something that I'll do once we get it all drafted. We have a draft, but it's not quite ready.
So I would move that we approve the $278,914 SS4A contract with AECOM, giving Jason the authority to sign and approve that contract after attorney review.
Thank you.
Support.
All right, we have a motion and support. Any other comments? All right, no other comments? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, same sign. Motion carries, thank you. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
we're very excited to get rolling with
Yeah,
it.
this is good.
It'll be good for our region, for sure. So,
All right,
all right, thank you.
thank you. Next up, we're doing comments. MDOT.
All right, I figured. Probably the one everybody's anxiously awaiting for, the business loop project that is on schedule, that I am aware of. Looking at the phasing of that project, we're currently, as most folks probably aware, eastbound, going out of town is closed, and that direction is detoured. If you live on the south side of the BL project locally, we've kind of had a local routing system, Perry over to Main Street at 96 at that point, to kind of sneak across and continue eastward. If you're coming from a longer distance, 16 to go south to M40, 196 around town that way as well. Probably mid to late July, just looking at the latest construction schedule, potentially early August, but around the late July time frame, kind of flipping the bounds. So mixes the new bound that's being constructed now, opening that up, then having the other bound under the construction there. Paw slash, I forget what that county local road name is there, but at least Paw Drive where it meets the BL is currently closed. That intersection is scheduled to be closed through, I believe it's the same time frame of late July as well. So might be a little soon.
That one's being eliminated, isn't it?
The cut through is, but you can still do it indirects around there.
All right.
That's my only update.
Okay.
Okay, and then my planning update. We are in the process of finalizing our public participation plan for the new 26 through 29 STIP development, the rural component of what you guys will be doing this upcoming year. So I will be sure to send notification to everyone so you can get that out and have everybody have the opportunity to comment on that plan.
Great.
So that will be coming down the pike. For those that might also interact with rural task force work, we are in the process of finalizing 4 or 5 locations for training coming up this fall, and we'll be sending out save the date information for that as well.
Very good, thank you. So will you be looking for like an official comment from the MPO or?
Well, I will double check the regs on that.
Okay, because we can, obviously, but we'll take a look forward to that. All right, any other questions for MDOT? Not seeing Federal Highway here, then we'll pass on that, and then I'll jump up to administrative updates. Our financial report, we're right on track with our percentage of expenditures through the year so far, so everything's going really well. And met with Chris a couple weeks ago, and we spent a couple hours in his office going through everything, and everything's looking good. Yeah, I'm just happy with where we are and how that support I get from Chris. It's really good. Things are going well. The other thing is our draft budget. So sent a memo. The memo in the packet was sent out a few months ago. So nothing's changed on that. There is a little bit of an increase in our consolidated planning grant funds that does pay our salaries, which is really nice. Dues are not changing, which is really nice as well. So if there's any questions on the draft budget, it's very straightforward, very similar to last year. Like I said, it's just a small increase in the consolidated planning grant. But what we're looking for today is approval of the 2025 budget. And part of the reason we do have to approve that today is that it is in the UWP for our work for next year. So it's kind of tie-barred together, if you will. But any questions on that? If not, looking for that motion to approve the 2025 budget as presented.
I'll make that motion to approve the 2025 budget as presented.
Thank you.
Support.
And we got support from Mandy. All right, any other comments? No other comments or questions? Then all in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, opposed, same sign. Very good. Motion carries. Thank you. So executive committee, we were able to have that last month, which was really good. I talked to the executive committee about an amendment that we're going to have coming up next month or the month after. Just has to be done by September. We do need to include the funding that we received for Safe Streets for All. That needs to be amended into our budget. We also have a small volunteer stream cleanup grant that we got for ODC. That was just under $4,000 grant. And then the MACC transit route study funding, we're still working with them. We provided support for them on their route study. So that'll be coming up in a couple months. So I'll put a memo together and kind of highlight everything, but look for that in the future. I can say that minus the Unified Work Program, the budget, and our non-motorized trail, those have taken up a lot of time, but everything else seems to be very grant focused. The shared streets and spaces, that's an MDOT grant that was out there, so I attended a webinar, got a lot of good feedback, and then talked to both cities about that. The cities are the only ones that were eligible for funding. So I believe that both cities will be putting in for those grants. And there's $200,000 or less, very quick grant turnaround time is what MDOT's looking for. I'm not sure what City of Holland was working on. Brian was like, I'll get to it. I'm going to get to it.
He's got a few things going on.
Few things going on. City of Zeeland was looking at kind of something similar to a hawk signal in downtown to get across Main Street downtown. And Alec and I worked on the Health Endowment Fund. Alec did an amazing job of working on a grant through the Michigan Health Endowment Fund, trying to support the work we're doing, the design work for the pedestrian crossing of the Business 196. We're kind of, throwing everything, including the kitchen sink, at getting that project rolling we need to get that design done. And I think once that design is done, then it'll make it a lot easier to go after construction money. So that was a good learning experience. Not too hopeful that we're gonna get that funding, just from some feedback we got from that, because this is something they haven't done before. They fund different things, but this really does hit everything that they want to do. And they were very impressed with our letter that we sent to them, the initial letter asking, would we be eligible? And they said, yes, you are eligible, and this looks like a great project. Please apply. But as we were applying, they're like, yeah, my board doesn't quite understand how you're gonna, how you do this or how you do that. So we did our best to get through that process. The other thing that we're working on, and it is with the state of Michigan, the Michigan Infrastructure Office. So same project, the I-196 business loop pedestrian crossing. The Infrastructure Office said that they would write our grant for us, but we have to be an active participant in making sure that they have good information, good data. And I was in Maryland last week, but I brought my computer with me so we could have a meeting with we're having weekly meetings. This grant application is due June 17th. And the grant is the Active Transportation Infrastructure Investment Program. So this is a notice of funding opportunity that came out just over a month ago. Nationwide, there's $45 million available for active transportation, which is non-motorized. It's the new term to do design work. So I have letters of support from Senator Gary Peters, Brad Slaw, Zeeland Public Schools. Still expecting more to come in. And we are working very closely with the Michigan Infrastructure Office grant writing specialists. which is really amazing because honestly, their level of effort, I would say, would be tens of thousands of dollars of support for us that we're not having to pay for. And the really, really exciting thing is that if we do get the grant, they will pay the match. And we're asking for $1.6 million of design work for the 2 pedestrian bridges and the linking system. All that was described and approved in our pedestrian crossing study last year that CD and Smith put together. So that's the foundation of this grant. So anything you want to add to that, Alec? It's just, to me, it's a fantastic partnership because I know Michigan Infrastructure Office got put together to do just this, to help people write grants. And I think it's I got my fingers crossed because we got professional grant writers that know how to deal with this kind of stuff, and I think it's going to put us at the head of the line.
Yeah, they're very engaged. The weekly meetings that we have are really nice. It's a good group of people. We have a good team on it, and they're easy to talk to and responsive. And they definitely, I think our main talking person is Brianna, and she knows what she's doing. So
yeah,
we're in good hands with them.
Yeah, it's very good. And then there's another thing that was kind of going on behind the scenes is there's a passenger ferry grant, and a NOFO came out, so there's a local group here that was like, hey, we should go after that. Like, we should go after stuff. And I'm like, well, okay, well, tell me a little bit more about it and who can do it. I don't think I can, the MACC can't go after those grants. But I did a little deep dive, and it turns out the MACC could potentially, if we got FTA approval ahead of time. But there was just interesting conversations about ferry boats and Ghost Works. I haven't met the company, but apparently they have the ability and technology to build design and build these types of boats, and they're right here in Holland. If somebody does go after this type of grant, they would probably put in RFPs to support the design and construction of those. And I think that's the exciting thing to me is this could be potentially worldwide because this type of ferry service is worldwide. So, so yeah, I was dabbling in that a little bit, just trying to understand what those opportunities were and if that's even something that the MACC would do. So, brought that up to the exec committee, but no action on our part. And then the last thing was our agreement with ODC. For the work that they do for us. That 3-year memorandum of understanding expires at the end of September. So we're starting that discussion, what that looks like and how that will work this next iteration. So that was the executive committee update. Were there any questions? It's kind of a lot of stuff. We've been keeping busy. Jim.
While you were in the other M state, Maryland, whatever the other states, did you take a trip to Baltimore Harbor to see
I did.
The bridge?
I did.
It doesn't exist anymore.
I should share photos.
Is that a potential location for these ferry boats?
I flew right over top of it, and I took several pictures. So I got really good pictures of the Key Bridge. Our flight path into Baltimore is we really went right over the city, right around it, and then right next to it. So I got three sides of it, which was I don't know. I was really excited to be able to see it, and it's still on the local news there as an issue, and it's affected a lot of people. And Johns Hopkins is doing a national survey of maritime structures and their sturdiness because really the bridge was fine. It's just the dolphins and that protective stuff in the actual waterway that wasn't suitable for this size ship.
Yeah. They were built for smaller ships.
Smaller ships that should have hit it and deflected but but this was way too big. So that'll be interesting. I'll be following that on the side just to see. I don't know if we have anything major. I mean, we have smaller bridges here, but I don't know if we have that many issues in Michigan. But that was.
That's one really big.
Did you say they're called dolphins?
Yeah, they're called
Yeah,
dolphins.
that's new, really.
Yeah, dolphins.
I mean, I'm familiar with
And I know,
the
yeah.
animal.
Right, exactly.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
You looked up real life.
Real life.
Yeah,
That's
those
what
spin
I'm
around,
saying.
yeah,
Like, really?
yeah.
Trained dolphins?
The impact.
With lasers?
There's probably better terminology for it. I should go look it up.
You do have those on the River Avenue Bridge, right?
I'm not sure.
Paul?
Are there freshwater dolphins?
I mean the pylons.
Pylons,
Yeah.
yeah, pylons.
I would think so.
All right, so our fireworks update, I'll jump to that real quick, is you guys a couple months ago approved that fireworks contract to be not to exceed 40,000, well, it came in at 38,050. And if you recall, last year it was $37,477. So we're at a 1.5% increase over last year, which is very nominal, and that's what we were shooting for. So thank you to City Hall and the folks there that were working on these contracts, and we're really happy with that price this year. So we do have our insurance, and we're also on the rider of the insurance within the city as well. So we're set up and protected. Any questions?
I was gonna say, Cole hasn't been formally introduced to policy. I met some of the executive members and TAF, but not yet the legal policy yet, so Cole's gonna quickly introduce himself.
Yeah, I'll stand up for this so everyone can see me. I'm Cole Oversee. I'm an intern here at MACC, and my job is to plan Green Commute Week this year. So this year, we're kind of wanting to focus more on kind of a community side of things. In the past, Green Commute Week has been more of like an individual initiative. So this year, I'm going to try to do more group activities, group rides, group runs, whatever I can to incorporate a bunch of different community groups and small groups around the Holland-Dillon area. So I've been just trying to reach out to as many people as possible to get this, to get this rolling and be kind of a great thing for our community area. That's all I got.
Thank you, Cole.
He's been helping rate paths too.
Yeah. So the nice.
Saving my life.
Yeah, which is good. The nice thing about having the summer intern is he's really good, and he's helping us because we do need some help. And the other good thing is, if you recall, when we ran this by you a few months ago, his salary is and his position is supported and funded through our consolidated planning grant with MDOT. So those MDOT funds do. Yeah, exactly. So that's being paid for through that. So that's really nice. Really, really nice. With that, I had one other thing I wanted to bring up. We volunteered, the MACC did, at Community Impact Day. So we were at Salvation Army, and we were mowing lawns and trimming hedges and pulling weeds. We did a lot there, which was really nice, and the mayor stopped by. I
didn't do any work.
I felt like they were checking up on us, making sure we were working hard. No, it was there were city staff there as well, so they were well taken care of, and we got a really nice thank you card from Kimberly today, which just said thank you so much, and it looked really good, and they really appreciated our efforts, so that felt really good. Other than that, any other comments or questions? Because I think we're going to jump to the members' comments if there aren't any other questions for me. No? All right, so should we start with the host for member? Okay.
Sure, I'll follow up on community impact. If you don't know what that is, it's a day organized by the West Coast Chamber of Commerce that came out of their leadership development program. It's their third year. Last count, I think 1,543 volunteers, volunteering 3 hours of time, 70 different projects around the area, not just in Holland, but going all the way east to Grand Rapids, south to Fenville. Every single request that they had, they were able to put volunteers onto that project, including the Salvation Army. And there were 3 different projects for the city of Holland. One I love talking about is the blue railing at Collin Park. They did most of it last year. They finished it this year. There were 250 people out painting at the same time on the boardwalk that beautiful afternoon. City calculated we got the equivalent of 3/4 of a full-time employee, full year full-time employee in that 3 hours that they dedicated, which is absolutely amazing. A couple of other things going on in the city. My advice would be stay away from Vinralty Avenue and 11th Street for a while. Lots of work going on down there. The Waverly Fire Station is completed, and the first official run came out of that station about a week ago. The Collin Park Station has been fenced off, and we're rehabbing that. Combined between those 2 projects, about $16 million. Broadband continues to go. I don't think we've got the first person's hooked up yet, but if you drive around town and see lots of little utility flags, those are the markings, and they're getting closer and closer to my house. I'm very, very excited about that. And then we had a little festival a couple of weeks ago. It's been about 3 weeks now. And despite, or maybe because of MDOT and their business loop project along Chicago Drive, my understanding is Tulip Time exceeded their ticket sales goals by 25%. We had record numbers at Windmill Island the first weekend. They had record numbers at the Immersion Garden the second weekend. So waning tulips during the festival is actually good for ticket sales. Don't tell anybody I said that out loud. And it's absolutely fantastic week. Even though the joke of the week was Holland was like the Hotel California. You can check out, but you can never leave. That's what's going on in Holland.
Very good. All right. Do we want to go head that way?
Sure. I will, I don't have a lot to report, but I will make a plea. And that is for, so Kurt, if you would listen as well, for the road diet on Ottawa Beach Road. I know there's some question about in the future turning it into a 5-lane road, and it probably wouldn't be the best for the township to turn it into a 5-lane road. So I'm gonna vote we go the other way. So I will make that plea, and whatever I need to do to get things started, let me know. So that's all I have.
Very good.
I appreciate the opportunity, but I don't think I have one thing from Zealand to bring forward, except that we feel things are going really, really well.
Good.
Even with all the road things that are happening and whatever, people have been, I would say, 90% just great about it. And it's moving along fast, for at least from our view. And people have been disadvantaged to a point, I think, but they seem to do it in a good way. So, and the end result is looking wonderful. So I think it's been worth the efforts that everyone has put in.
Good. Great.
Well, in Allegan County, our paving program is well underway. We're also trying to catch up on the roadside mowing, which you may or may not believe if you've driven around Allegan County, but we are out there working on it. It seemed like it took off and grew really fast this year. And on the primary ballot, we will have our countywide millage on there. That's been approved by the county board, I believe. So that'll be on the primary ballot, at the primary election, rather.
Okay, very good.
Well, I think the most significant thing I can bring forward here is all of us, I think, maybe every one of us have received some ARPA funds in some form or another. The township received just over $4 million. So, but like a lot of governmental agencies, there's a lot of debate as to how to use it, of course. And we had many meetings and discussions, and at our last meeting, we decided to allocate the entire amount toward our community recreation center, and that will help that funding issue a lot. That's about all for today.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't have anything new to report.
All right.
Busy season right now for Lakeshore Advantage. Our next center drove by today in downtown Holland is coming along well. It's exciting to see. It's also our a season where we're out at a lot of local units of government presenting our annual investor update. So we stop by, I think I'm gonna be at Lake Town next week, I'm at Zeeland tonight, Ottawa County tomorrow. Oh my goodness, we have to
Don't
get that
come
right.
tonight.
No. Be lonely, is my
Won't be
guess.
anybody
Yeah,
there.
yeah. So, yeah, keeping busy doing that, just updating on our work and plans for the coming year. Also, Mike's not here today, but Port Sheldon is really kicking off their master planning process this month around the Consumers Energy GH Campbell transition. So our team is supporting on that as well. So several stakeholder meetings coming up, trying to get community engagement, which they have. They have a lot of stakeholders who are interested and invested in the outcome of that. So that's exciting.
One big deal that we worked on recently is we were able to get representatives of the 3 congressional offices that represent our county to go on a tour of the washout shoreline, or Lakeshore Drive, and Craig Adler, the Road Commission, and Daniel DeFranco, the Saugatuck Township manager, set that up. I think we got a lot of interest in trying to find $7.5 million we need to fix it. And so we've made contacts through the National Association of Counties with some federal folks of the ladder to say if you're considering $2 billion for a new Baltimore bridge, which there is legislation to do that, that may be modest amount, small percentage of that amount directed at Allegan County. So continue to pursue that.
Good, good. Do you know if the township supervisor checked with Michigan Infrastructure Office on potential grants? Because I know I sent some stuff to him last summer when we were talking, and they've been so helpful to us, but I know they're probably stretched pretty thin, but I was just wondering.
He did not mention it, but I do have a follow-up meeting with him, and I will.
Yeah, because they'll try to find grants. That's what they're trying to do. Whether or not they'll help you write it is a different story, but at least they can kind of start directing, and that's just one of the things that they do. Yeah.
And then on the fiber front, we've now installed enough fiber cable to reach 1,000 households in the county, and so progress is continuing.
Good. All right, Kurt?
We're busy paving roads and installing culverts.
Yep.
We haven't had any plats to approve for the last 3 meetings, which is kind of interesting that we're getting a lull, and then we have our millage request.
Very good.
Well, I can thank Larry because paving is in some of our streets is well underway and replacing culverts that show up there too. So thank you for getting those things started early this season. I am seeing the influx of out-of-state plates that we get every year along the lakeshore. And I will just say this: if you're native, they don't know where they're going and they don't know who has the right of way. So be careful.
Be nice. And be nice.
Well, because they're also doing about 85.
Yeah.
So
Must be Illinois plates, huh?
Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, all of them. They figure that our local guys aren't going to try and catch them if they're going that fast. But we've got some complaints from residents where they are just tearing up the road between Holland and Saugatuck, the old 64th, and it's already at 55. And if Allegan County Sheriff wants to make the budget, do it right there. Because they could.
Send one more request.
Sure. And if they really want to make the budget, do it about 2 o'clock in the morning because they are drag strip. It's an active drag strip.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So please, if you're out in that neighborhood, watch for some of the out-of-towners that truly don't know where they're going, and we'll try and get wherever it is very fast.
That maybe the only other update I have is I left some state maps up there for folks that want to take them. Old school, but they're available. Please take some.
I like old maps.
I'm good.
Good. All right.
My wife's a map freak.
We have Williams and Works working on our master plan. We're probably about 75% complete, so by, I'd say, Labor Day, the end of the summer, we'll be complete with that. And it's not really our festival, but Olive Township wants to take a little credit for the Dandelion Festival that was on May 4. That was prior to the kickoff of that other festival.
Yeah. Well, we think a lot of people come to the Dandelion Festival and then find out about Tulip Time.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you. But it wasn't in the community in Borkville there for a few years because of COVID, and it was brought back this year with a new group of people, and it was a very good success. And safety was a key thing, and I think we even had some people walking in that parade. So that's all I got.
All right, very
They
good.
didn't have to push a vehicle.
All right, so really quick, I didn't know, Jim, that you're gonna bring up that 5 to 3 lane, but as we're sitting here, if you recall, a year ago, in this very room, I did a 5 lane, or 4 lane to 3 lane conversion kind of discussion for the area. So just throwing that out there that certainly understand what you're saying and what your thoughts are. So that's good. But if there's anything that the road commission or anybody at this group would like me and my staff to look into, dive into, get some numbers, get some data, get anything, if there's any, I just want to throw that out there that we can kind of keep that conversation going, because it's good to have the conversation. I think at that meeting there were a lot of questions. I think we covered some good stuff. So just wanted to throw that out there that this should be a good place, safe place to have these conversations and just make sure we're on the same page.
Is there an opportunity for a demonstration project to do that?
Yes, there
Under
is.
the Safe Streets program?
Yeah, so the Safe Streets for All, I'm gonna say yes, because they do have demonstration projects. The one thing that I recall is they like it if you could put it up and take it down. So temporary signals or, maybe some type of bollards, those type of things. Restriping, like that would, but if you were gonna resurface, I don't think those pan out as well. But like striping and restriping, like that's an opportunity. So that's something that's out there. And we certainly would dive into that, look at it in more detail, and we can bring that information back if you guys would like us to. Like how does that Safe Streets for All demonstration grant notice of funding opportunity, what does that entail? And I would think restriping would probably fit.
I guess our concern is it's just gonna shift traffic to another road.
Yeah.
Like with Boulevard, so what do you gain by narrowing Ottawa Beach Road if you have to widen Lakewood Boulevard or Lakewood Boulevard, James?
Right.
You still got so many vehicles out there. And how are they gonna come this way?
Yep.
And that's the problem.
Okay. Well, we don't mind helping and diving in, getting more data, getting more examples, getting more. I think one of the projects I thought was really good is the one that I was part of in Berry County, and maybe that's something I can check back with the road commission to see, did that increase congestion? Were there people using other routes? What's that safety data? Were there additional accidents on the parallel roads that were 2 or 3 blocks away? Those kind of things, because that's the kind of stuff that data, you get that black and white, there's maybe X number of accidents here, you did this improvement, now they're less, but maybe there's more over here. So that's a really good point. But just wanted to throw that out there, because that's, we're sitting in that same room, and I just started thinking. All right, so any other just issues or comments for the good of the group? If not, then looking for a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Support. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll see you next month in Zealand.